Commentary for the 2016 Singapore Grand Prix comes from Martin Brundle and David Croft.
And the heat is on in the champion.
Weren't they? So that carcass either needs to come off like a polo mint and go across the road. He's going a bit too fast, really, but the shrapnel on the inner tyre wall just wrecks.
He held back, Martin, and realised that there is not room for two cars in this pit lane.
Yes, and of course what compounded all of that, David, is that everybody had to come through the pit lane, as you pointed out earlier on, because there's no point in sending them down the pit straight with debris everywhere.
Felipe Nasser into turn one.
It's going to be tight.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Berg 3.8 seconds ahead of Ricciardo. This is what that move looked like as this went a bit wide from the onboard camera for Sebastian Vettel. He's thinking to himself, you can go a bit quicker, please. And he has pulled off in hot and humid conditions a very cool, calm and calculated victory in the end. Daniel Ricciardo then comes home for second place ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who fought his way back onto the podium places again under pressure from Kimi Raikkonen.
Woo! Brilliant drive. Yes, come on guys, come on! Yay! At last in Singapore.
Only his second podium in Singapore, and he goes one better than in 2008. Nico Rosberg wins here this evening. And the pleasure is evident in every single word. Kimi Raikkonen comes home for fourth place. Ferrari with a magnificent strategy for Sebastian Vettel, fifth from 22nd on the grid. A bit like Abu Dhabi in 2013, where he finished third, starting right at the back. Max Verstappen didn't get the best of starts, as a result of which Sainz and Hülkenberg had to get past him, and it took Hülkenberg out of the race when Sainz clipped him. Well, he comes home to finish sixth, ahead of Fernando Alonso in seventh, Sergio Perez eighth, Danny Kvyat in ninth, and Kevin Magnussen, who scores Renault's second points finish of the season, to come home in 10th place. I'd imagine for both Kvyat and Magnussen, that is an evening that'll bring a smile to their face, both needing the points to safeguard or try to their seats for next season. What a fight for Ricciardo it was.
That was a super drive, Daniel. We obviously went for it to cover the others with a three-stop, but you gave it everything. Well done, well done.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for trying something. That was fun, at least.
As if Singapore hadn't got enough lights tonight, the sky, the fireworks are echoing around the Marina Bay. Sebastian Vettel, driver of the day. Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Last on the grid to come home and finish in fifth. But at Mercedes, celebrations of the day for a victory. Nico Rosberg wins. Let's hear what Niki Lauda thought of it. He's with Ted.
Oh, how close was that?
Very. Unbelievable.
How's the heart? Okay.
No, unbelievable race. I mean, Niki did a real good thing to defend. Lewis fought to the end. We couldn't have get more difficult race to win like this. Is incredible.
It was incredible. Great battle. And Nico takes the lead of the championship again.
Yeah, this is the way things change. He did a good job today, I have to say.
He did indeed. Thank you, Niki.
So, Nico Rosberg then, 22nd win in Formula One. He moves to 13th on the all-time list, alongside our very own Damon Hill. Gets a pat on the head from his teammate. I'm sure he knew that was Lewis at first, but not much of an acknowledgement. Hamilton has his second podium finish in Singapore in this decade. Rosberg with the hat-trick since the summer break. Spa, Monza, Singapore. And this crowd surfing is becoming something of a nice habit for the German driver. Red Bull stay ahead then of Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship battle. Let's hear what their team principal Christian Horner thought of today's race. He's also with Ted.
So near and yet so far.
Yeah, I mean, we covered the others on the super soft at the end there, and You know, Mercedes made their bed by leaving Nico out there. It was always going to be about the last couple of laps, but they had just enough in hand. So it was an exciting finish after 2 hours.
It was great, wasn't it? Well, funnily enough, Mercedes started the whole thing by switching Lewis onto the 3, and then everyone else sort of thought he'd have a go, and it was worth the go for Ricciardo, wasn't it?
Absolutely, because Lewis had a free stop. Kimi then covered him. We had nothing to lose but to cover and give it a go.
Okay. Was it close? I mean, did you think he'd got him? Was there a moment, 4 laps, 5 laps before the end, you thought we might really get this, or was it always going to be really tight?
Well, we looked at the maths, and the guys back in the UK were telling us it's going to be, you're going to be around him with a couple of laps to go. Yeah. But it looked like they just kept enough in hand for those last couple of laps, but it's getting closer.
Well, listen, well done. Thanks for giving us a really exciting race.
Drivers making their way to the cool-down room. Red Bull now 15 points ahead of Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes with a huge advantage. I think, doing the maths properly, I think they can take that Constructors' Championship in Malaysia. That's a look of relief on Nico Rosberg's face at the end. Looks quite visibly drained and exhausted. I'm not surprised after nearly 2 hours of racing in this heat. Let's have a little listen to the drivers.
Good job, man. Bloody brilliant. Bloody brilliant. Yeah. Last stop, please. Well done. 73.6. Thank you very much. Jealous. Yeah, Danny, how you doing? How was? Ma che dici? Tutto controllato. Già. Exactly. No, that's what cosa stai dicendo? Ties at the end, on the edge. Yours? It's always funny, you always catch too late. Yeah. I went hard at the beginning.
He does look visibly exhausted. I'm not surprised as well. The Mercedes team wait to celebrate underneath the podium. Force India move ahead of Williams in the Constructors' Championship by the 1 point. Got to feel a bit sorry for Esteban Gutierrez today. He came 11th for the 5th time this season. Hasn't scored any points yet, but he's missed out by 1 place on 5 occasions. So it's a podium for Lewis Hamilton, his 99th in Formula One. Daniel Ricciardo matches his 2nd place here in Singapore from this time last year. And Nico Rosberg wins in Singapore for the first time ever.
The German national anthem. To Nico Rosberg on his 8th win of the year. The trophy is presented to him by Mr. Teo Chi Hien, Deputy Prime Minister and Coordinating
An
Minister
8th win
for
of the
Security.
season compared to Lewis Hamilton's 6.
Congratulations to Nico and to the winning
The
constructor.
momentum that he lost in the middle part of the season very much back with him again.
To them by Mr. Go Chun Pong,
Constructors'
Chief
Trophy,
Executive Officer,
yet another
Singapore
one
Airlines.
for Mercedes.
They are represented by Mark Ellis, Performance Director.
Mark Ellis, very much one of the key men designing and engineering a car that has dominated the hybrid era. Another podium for Daniel Ricciardo. His 15th in Formula One. And Lewis Hamilton will pick up his 99th, but I think would rather have been after something a little bit bigger. It's his teammate Nico Rosberg, though, who is the man to celebrate a 200th Grand Prix start, another victory in 2016, and once again the championship lead. Trebles all round and celebrations for Rosberg in Singapore. The fans flocking onto the track. I'm sure the drivers want to celebrate and spray the sparkling wine as much as drink as much of it as they possibly can. Just down to the 2-hour mark as Rosberg crossed the line. The longest race of the season. I wonder, longest wait for the next race for Rosberg. Now he's back in the championship lead. I bet he can't wait to get going again. He's got to talk to Martin Brundle first, though.
Good evening, everybody. What a race. So tantalising, the toughest race of the year. And they finished just 0.4 of a second apart. Let's hear it for your 3 stars tonight. Did you enjoy that race? I certainly did. Well done, Nico. Fantastic. So, your 200th Grand Prix, your 3rd victory in 4 weeks. You now lead the World Championship again, but it wasn't all plain sailing.
No, but it's been an awesome weekend here in Singapore for me. Already yesterday with the pole lap, and then today, great start. Had a good car in the race. Of course, Daniel tried to pull one up on me with the pit stop in the end there, and we knew it was going to be tight at the end, but it worked out, so really, really happy.
They were going to call you in to cover him off, and then they made a late call that was the right call, and then you were under pressure all the way to the flag.
Yeah, we couldn't come in because I had traffic, so I was very slow on that lap, and he would have beaten me. So, but it was a cool ending.
We heard you were managing your brakes for more or less the whole race. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the whole car was on the edge. You know, it always is here in Singapore. So it's all the more satisfying with a race like that.
I'll come back and have a chat. Daniel Ricciardo. They still seem very happy for you, Daniel. It's your 3rd consecutive time on this podium, but you need just a few more centimetres, look, for that top step.
Yeah, it's we've come very close this year on numerous occasions, but you know, I'm not going to stand up here and be disappointed. I think we gave it a good shot, and we tried something at the end with a strategy, and we got within half a second. It was close, but hey, we're up here again. It feels great. There is a lot of Australian flags. Every year I see more and more, so thank you very much.
I mean, you were on schedule to be on his gearbox with 1 or 2 laps to go, then he got a bit of traffic and it just fell away. One more lap and you'd have been there.
Yeah, it was close. As soon as we did the pit stop, we thought Nico was going to come in, so I pushed really hard on those tyres, and by the end they were a little bit dead, but at least we got close and made it exciting.
The champagne pouring off you is boiling hot as it's coming off you. A tough race.
It's a physical race, absolutely. Yeah.
Well done. Lewis Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen. It's your 99th podium, but it's not the sweetest one, I suspect.
No, definitely not. But first of all, big congratulations to Nico. He drove fantastically well all weekend and fully deserved the win. Very tough day today, but as always it is here in Singapore. And this weekend has just been a bit of a tricky one for me, but I'm still glad that I could get back up on the podium and get some points for the team.
The first half of the race, you were a bit frustrated with the tyres and your own pace and wondering what was going on. Then you just suddenly came alive.
There's my brakes. I was struggling with the brakes were way overheating, so I just had to slow down. So I had to just watch the other guys pull away. And I was just looking at different ways to try and get them back under control. And eventually, once I did I think my 2nd stop or 3rd stop, all of a sudden my brakes were under control. So, but of course, towards the end, I still got a bit of heat in them. But I just want to say I got a lot of support out here this weekend, and I just want to say a big thanks for everyone for coming out. And we'll keep pushing.
8 points behind in the World Championship. Is that a big concern for you?
Well, it's a lot different to when I was here last year, but all in all, with everything that's gone on this year, I'm still in the fight. There's still a long way to go, and I'm going to give it everything I got.
Okay, thank you very much, Lewis. Final word then, Nico. 6 races to go in this championship. You are leading it yet again now. So you must be thinking, I can win this. I can take this.
No, I'm not focused on points, as I always say. I'm just happy with the win today. And thank you very much, everybody, for coming today. You've been awesome this weekend. I hope you had fun. And see you all again in Malaysia soon.
Singapore always gives us a great race. You should feel the heat radiating off these drivers. That's the energy they put in for us this afternoon, this evening, and it was certainly an enjoyable race to watch. We'll see you here next year, and enjoy the rest of your Grand Prix season.